My best friend is mad that I got pregnant the same year as her wedding. I'm already annoyed. I haven't even started. Choose peace today, Joss. This story came January 26th, 2025. Hi everyone, I'm posting this because I'm truly confused right now and I'm trying to understand if I'm really in the wrong here. My husband and family say I'm not, but my best friend is ending our friendship over this, so I'm trying to figure out if maybe I really am the person who messed up here. My best friend, 31 female, and I, 31 female, have been best friends for over 12 years, since we were 19 and roommates in college. She lives 1,300 miles away from me, so most of our friendship has been long distance, minus the year that we lived together in college. My best friend has been my best friend through some heavy stuff on both of our sides, and we've always been there for each other. She helped me when I was 20 get out of an abusive home, and a few years ago when I was severely depressed, I had to go into an inpatient treatment. And I've been there for her through every breakup. Friends and partners. Her dad also nearly passed away of COVID, and also some of her pets passing away, etc. To say we have been there for each other through it all would be an understatement, at least in my eyes. We're also not the same 19-year-old children that we were when we first met. She has done some things that I've been pretty upset about, but I just kind of moved on from them. For example, when I was turning 30, I planned a trip to Disney World to celebrate. Disney is a particularly special place for us both, with my family. Her birthday is exactly 7 days before mine, and I technically was flying into Disney World on her birthday, but not going into the park. We had no plans at all to see each other on each other's birthdays. When I told her months prior that I was going to Disney for my 30th birthday, she cried and basically ghosted me for a couple days while she had a meltdown because she couldn't handle me going to Disney on her birthday. Well, she didn't have the ability to go. How old is she? 31. And this was for your 30th birthday. She's throwing a little tantrum because you're going to Disney on your birthday. What's happening?
And what is going on?
Surely people like this don't actually exist in the world because that's so cuckoo bonkers. So her and her now fiance, then partner, decided that the only way she would be okay with this was to max out a credit card and go themselves. So they went 6 months-ish before my trip with my husband, and that is where they got engaged. This was almost 2 years ago now. When this happened, I was super confused and kind of upset because in my mind, I didn't understand why I couldn't go to Disney and her not freak out about it. But she went to the parks before me and I didn't care, and if that's what she needed to do to process that, then whatever. I just left it and we went back to normal. We had a moment when I lost my job about a year ago where, truthfully, I became very depressed and negative and trauma dumped too much to her. I also was having thoughts of taking my life. This strained our friendship, and rightfully so, and after apologizing and doing some therapy work, we got back to normal again. This is to say, I've not been perfect in the friendship with her, but I believe I've always been thoughtful to account for when I've messed up because I'm human and we all do. I'm now in a far better place mentally, and this hasn't been an issue for over a year. And thankfully, I've been doing more therapy treatments to manage my depression and anxiety, and I have been far healthier in my life and also with my loved ones. Now to this situation at hand. I've been married to my husband for nearly 7 years. She was my maid of honor. I've always wanted to have children, and my best friend knew this. She has never and still never wants to have children, and that's okay. My husband and I tried for children about a year or two ago, and then I lost my job, so we stopped trying. Then I got a new job, and things were more stable, so we finally decided to go off birth control and try for a baby in October of 2024. Again, she knew this. I also live in a state where abortion is completely illegal. She does not. My husband and I have always wanted 2 kids, though we will be okay with 1 if pregnancy is too difficult for me. Obviously, I know women have children past 35 years old, but the risk gets higher, and being in a state where my ability to get a medically necessary abortion is impossible, we didn't want to have children past 35 if we could help it. So the plan was to start trying for children now since I'm already 31. Like mentioned earlier, my best friend has been engaged for almost 2 2 years. It'll be 2.5 years by the time that they get married this year. I was her maid of honor for her wedding. Spoiler alert, I guess. Like she was for mine. Well, on January 2nd, I found out that I was pregnant, and my husband and I were so happy. I told my sister, and then I told my best friend, because I figured if the worst situation were to happen, it's my sister and best friend that will be there for me. When she answered the phone, the first thing she said was, "So when are you due?" and started talking about her wedding and if I would still be pregnant by then. My due date was supposed to be 6-ish weeks prior to her wedding. I could tell immediately in this call that she was upset that I was pregnant, and I have a lot of trauma in my life, and I deal with that by people pleasing. I could tell she was upset, and I tried comforting her and saying how I knew the timing wasn't ideal and I didn't want to have a child in September either because there were so many birthdays in my family in that month, and basically just tried to convince her that it would be okay. And I even asked her if she was mad at me because I know her and I knew she was. This is insane. Listen, I'm just gonna say it. This isn't your friend. That's not a friend at all. Not a friend. Doesn't want what's best for you, is jealous of you. If you have any happiness or anything in your life that doesn't involve her, apparently, on her life and her timeline, she ain't happy for you. This ain't your friend. Anyway, after that phone call, she basically ghosted me for 4 days. Didn't answer my texts and basically just replied to the bare minimum. Your best friend tells you that they're pregnant after wanting and trying to have children. If they're anything but elated, excited, supportive, happy for you, not your friend. I hope this story ends with her literally out of your life. I hate to say it. Or she realizes, takes accountability, and changes. I don't see it going that way. Finally, 4 days later, she tells me to call her so we can talk. And then I spend an hour and a half coddling her and telling her I do not plan to miss her wedding and that this doesn't change anything. The only thing that would change is that I would have to wear postpartum diapers under my dress. We aren't drinkers and we weren't planning a Vegas rager for her bachelorette. And so I didn't see how me being pregnant for that and having a new baby by the time she was married would affect much of anything. Even if it did. You aren't planning your pregnancy and your life timeline around your friend's wedding.
Sorry I annoyed you with my friendship.
That's insane. Like, you and your husband do what's best for you, it's gonna be all right. I'm flabbergasted by this. We also have a strong family system, so we knew that we could have family watch the baby, or God forbid, fly up there and stay with the baby so that I could be there for my best friend at her wedding. Like I said, there was no intention to miss it, and I had to practically beg her to understand this and apologize for adding a wrench into her wedding plans. The next day, on the literal anniversary of our friendship, she texts me saying she wants to do another follow-up call with me about it because apparently she was okay and now her fiance just couldn't handle this still, and that she wanted me to basically talk him down and talk through it like I did with her. I'm just gonna move on. Her entire reaction was difficult and stressful, and I didn't want to spend another hour and a half coddling her fiance, who, while I'm friends with, is not my best friend. I basically said, I'm not sure what I can say at this point to him that I already haven't said to you. She then told me she didn't feel like my husband and I considered her wedding being in 10 months when we decided to go for it, and that I wasn't being realistic with her about being able to be at her wedding, and that 2025 is a big year, and that people automatically think a pregnancy is more important than a wedding, and she didn't want people to only focus on me and not her. Basically, 2025 is supposed to be her year, and now that I'm pregnant, that makes this year not all about her and puts her wedding in jeopardy somehow. Basically, 2025 is supposed to be her year, and now that I'm pregnant, that makes this year not all about her and puts her wedding in jeopardy somehow. I truly do not understand this, as we don't share friend and family groups, and I would never expect her to pause her life the year that I have a major life event. So this really upset me that she basically expected me to put my life on pause for a year so only her and her fiance could have 2025. I told her this in my reply, that her reaction had made me regret telling her about the pregnancy and honestly getting pregnant in the first place. And that I live in a state where it's dangerous to be a woman and it's not fair to expect me to put my life on pause for her wedding. I told her that best friends share life events all the time, especially in their 30s. They get married and have kids and change jobs and moves and get divorced, etc., all at the same time, and it doesn't negate or take away from each other, and it's okay to both be able to celebrate each other this year. It doesn't take away each other's shine. She told me she needed to process this and couldn't respond yet. I said, that's okay, give it some time and I will be there. 2 days later, oh my gosh, no. 2 days later, I miscarried. This was one of the worst experiences of my life, and I'm still not over it. I cry thinking about the baby I lost and the fear that I'll never have a baby or a family in the future 2 weeks later. It's a wound I'm sure I'll always carry around. I texted her at 4 a.m. when I was miscarrying, telling her that I was pretty sure that's what was happening, but that I didn't want to talk about it. Really, I didn't want to talk about it with her. After her response to the news in the first place, I didn't really trust talking to her about it and what she would say. I probably shouldn't have even said anything, to be honest, but I was bleeding heavily in the bathroom in the middle of the night and I texted my best friend to let her know. She doesn't text me back until 2:30 the next day and sends a pretty generic text, in my mind, basically saying, I didn't know what to say. If you think this is happening, then I'm sorry. I didn't respond. I didn't respond to most people that day. I was actively bleeding and crying and scared for my life, my baby, my health. She never checked in again. She didn't send me a text later to see if I was okay, how I was doing, if it was confirmed, if my husband, who was also her friend, was okay. Nothing. Just one generic, if that's what's happening, then I'm sorry, and that's it. Disgusting. Like, I'm disgusted by that. 3 days later, I go to the OB who does an ultrasound and confirms that I did in fact lose the baby. I shared on my social media what I went through. I have always, for 10 years, shared on my social media when I'm not okay. When I went through treatment, I shared. I've always shared. It's not for her and it wasn't about her. It was about me and being honest with what happened and showing it's not something to be ashamed of. She saw my post. You can see who views your stories. But again, no texts or calls or anything to check in on me. Nothing. Now to today. It has been over 2 weeks where she hasn't said a word to me at all. We went from talking literally every single day for 12 years to her ghosting me completely for 2 weeks, while I actively go through the worst thing in my entire life. Today, I sent a text basically saying, hey, I don't know what's been going on, but you're not saying anything for 2 weeks and it has been upsetting me. I gave you time to figure out a response and I'm confused why it's taken this long, but I'll be here when you're ready. Then I got these texts. Now I am just so confused. I don't know what she means when she says I've manipulated her, that I've love bombed her, or that I'm always the victim and she's the bad guy. I'm truly so confused and mad. Am I manipulating? Was I wrong for getting pregnant in the first place? Should I have kept this a secret? I really don't know what I did wrong, and I feel like I need a third-party voice to help me see the truth. Am I the a-hole? And we're gonna read the text because I'm infuriated and I don't know how she's possibly trying to spin this on you. This is insane. All right, so this is what the friend, I'm not even gonna call her a friend, this is what she responded with. So yes, I did need time to process the last thing you said to me. You said you felt like you were made to feel regret about being pregnant and regretted ever telling me. But you didn't express any of this until the day I said I wanted to talk about all of it with you directly. Because it does affect my husband too. It's his wedding year as well. So you were fine until being confronted with reality. The person who is supposed to be my best friend just instead chose to blame me and my partner for her own feelings about her own pregnancy, which is absolutely not my responsibility to manage. You said something like, it's not on me to make him okay with this. And in the same breath said that you were made to feel bad about your own pregnancy when you should feel joy. How is that our responsibility? But just having a realistic conversation as adults was just asking way too much from you? None of it makes any sense and it doesn't matter what I say. The responsibility will never fall fall on you and I will always come out as the bad guy. Because that is just how it is when you make a decision that ultimately hurts me. And I just put it down and swallow it because it's just not worth the cost. But I can't swallow it this time. And then you sent me, don't feel comfortable talking about it and feel very effing alone and sad right now. So I let you know that I really did feel bad about what was happening, but you never replied and didn't want to talk to me about it. Fine. But then you posted on socials several times about it instead, and now you're disappointed and upset and confused that you haven't heard from me? It's incredibly childish and I don't want any part of it. The whole thing has been blown out of proportion when all I wanted from the start was for you to acknowledge reality instead of the delusional fantasy that nothing would change and everything would be fine and nothing will stop me from being there, and not willing to discuss any backup plans, not willing to discuss the reality, but gaslighting our concerns to oblivion. No one in their right mind who has actually given birth would make promises like that. But you shut that down with blind optimism and never actually listened to the real issue. You just made it about you and the fact that you were pregnant, and it was allegedly my fault that you were so upset. You've been trying to manipulate how I feel by love bombing me and telling me you're hurt and by begging me to not be mad when you first told me your test was positive. So that automatically I'm the bad guy for being upset no matter what. It's bonkers actually, but it's not even worth talking about anymore because no matter what I say, you always end up the victim. Anytime you make a choice that hurts me, because yes, you've done it several times over the years, you always have some convenient justifications for it and it gets flipped to me being the problem for being upset and you're the one who's being hurt. So yeah, I'm tired and done. But the fact that this person is upset about the news of your pregnancy and how it affects their wedding day is still insane. Even if my best friend and her husband got pregnant and did have to miss my wedding day, no hard feelings, babe. You're having a baby. What do you mean? Of course you're bummed, like, oh, I wish my best friend could be here. Sure, but she's, bringing a child into the world. Beautiful. We can't just both celebrate and it happened to be around the same time. Like, what an exciting time of our lives. This is blowing my mind. Am I losing it? Now she has me second guessing. Am I losing it?
Am I out of my mind? Am I losing my senses?
Let's check out what some of the people of Reddit are saying at this point in time before the update. Someone said, not the a-hole. She's not your friend. Friends don't treat each other this way. A true friend would be happy for you being pregnant. All she cares about is herself. I suggest not going to her wedding and cutting her and her toxic husband off for good. Quit trying to please her, grow a spine, and stand up for yourself. Don't allow people to treat you this way. Next comment. I wonder if the husband was as upset as bridezilla made him out to be. I really can't imagine many guys that would care one way or another, but I would cut them both loose. People change a lot in 12 years. You have grown while your friend hasn't been able to get beyond middle school mentality. Next comment said, right, the ex-friend and boyfriend are like, oh, she didn't stop to think about us when she was having unprotected sex with her husband? Exactly. Like, it's so insane. OP responded to that and said, unfortunately, this is exactly what she said. When I was on that hour-and-a-half long phone call, she said that she and her fiance were literally talking about why did he have to inside you during December or something like that. I don't remember how she worded it because it stunned me so much when she said it. I was taken aback by her saying that and I should have stopped it right there, but I continued to try to be empathetic and calm her anxiety. But yes, they literally discussed with each other that they were mad that two married adults had unprotected sex 11 months before their wedding. Then told me while crying that they said that, and I continued to try to be empathetic. I see as I write these things that I have been unfair to myself. I made myself small to calm someone down and appease them over something that wasn't wrong of me to do in the first place. Yeah. I truly feel like I'm losing my mind over here, so I'm gonna take a sip of water before we get to the final update. Maybe you need it too. Let me know how you're feeling because I'm stressed. Cheers. Since the news is out, look at what my sister had
like shipped to us while we were in our trip to LA because she knew, obviously once it happened. Aren't these so funny? Oh, focus. Hers and his, and they're sassy, so I feel like it's totally fitting.
All right, so the final update came 1 year later, very recently, February 26th, 2026. Oh, I am so curious. I hope to God you didn't go to this wedding. Hi, y'all. I wanted to post a 1 year later update on this post I made as I was going through one of the most traumatic situations of my life, since I know a lot of people were asking about it at the time. I haven't ever made an update post, so hopefully I've done it correctly. You did it correctly. So essentially, it's been over a year since all of that happened. Since the night I made this first post and I sent my final text message to her, basically saying that I was upset in how I was being treated and I was open and hoping to work it out together before her wedding, she blocked me on every single social media or place possible, like even her Steam account, whatever that is. I actually am unsure if my text even went through, to be honest, because we both have iPhones and usually my sent text messages turn blue, but that text never changed from black to blue. So maybe she blocked me right away. I really have no clue. But she blocked me everywhere, stopped talking to me immediately, just ghosted me from that point forward. What was originally a fear for her that I would miss her wedding because of my pregnancy was the reality, because I haven't spoken to her since January of 2025. I still think of her often. I still have very confused feelings and sadness that comes in giant waves. Therapy and support from my husband and family have helped me deal with the grief as much as I can. It's weird to grieve someone that you know is still alive, you know? But yeah, she decided, I guess, that our 12-year friendship wasn't salvageable, and I had no say in that. I know she got married, but I wasn't there for it. I'll never understand. I'll never understand her decisions or why, but I am reconnecting with older friendships and focusing on myself as much as I can. This past year, I got hit with that miscarriage and friendship loss. My biological mother passed away, and being laid off and going through those things without her really showed me what I'm capable of and the real friendships and family I have to help me through it. And the very best update of them all, my rainbow baby is literally due any second. Yup, you read that right? Ah, oh my God, I could cry. I know it's a stranger. I love when women get pregnant, when they want to have a baby. Like all those announcements when, oh my God, I get teary-eyed right away. I see TikToks when people share, they're like, we've been trying to get pregnant. And then when they find out through the test, I cry with them. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's beautiful. The baby I was so scared would never happen to me after miscarrying the first one did happen, and she will literally be here any moment. Oh, it's a girl. I'm sad my daughter won't know my ex-best friend, and I'm more sad for her that she'll never know my daughter. I really do wish things had been different, but I also don't want anyone in my daughter's life that doesn't truly love or care about her, and I'm certain my ex-best friend wouldn't, at least not now. Going through a layoff while pregnant was also a huge stressor, but I'm also hopefully about to land a new job too. Final interview this week. That will start when I'm recovered. Things are finally starting to feel like they're falling into place. Thanks again for all the perspectives you helped me with. It allowed me to process and bring things into therapy that helped me and has also helped me look inward at myself to be stronger for my daughter and husband, but also for myself. We got a happy ending. Okay, we're gonna check out a few top comments and see what people are saying now. Someone said, stop thinking about her. Make sure you block her everywhere so that she doesn't try to contact you in the future. True. Like, you don't even deserve to see pictures of my baby. I'm just furious. I need to calm down. Next comment. Congratulations, your ex-friend is a past chapter. Enjoy your new chapter with new and old non-toxic friends. Next comment. So she blocked you on everything? Wow, saved you the trouble of cutting out this self-absorbed, immature jerk out of your life. I'm glad to hear that you and your family are doing well. Don't let her back in. Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling she might come back in the future. You know what? If she does come back, I just hope it's accountability and an apology. In the very least. Maybe she has some growing to do on her own. Maybe she'll do it on her own. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on this one, you guys. Were you as infuriated as I was? I was so annoyed this whole time. Let me know. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.